Yeah, that's awesome. Okay. So, I mean, can we just talk plainly here? I mean,
Yeah.
cause here's the thing is like, I'm sure you do too. I get people who are all about the franchise model. I got people who are critical of the franchise model. And I've got criticisms of some aspects of some franchise models and stuff too. So, I mean, can I ask you about some of those? Is that
Yeah, let's do
okay?
it. I'm
Oh,
transparent. I'm an open book.
yeah, I love it. I love it. I love it. Okay. So, I mean, one of the big questions I get is, can a distributor help me do a lot of the things that you just described, that your franchise model will do? Do I need to go the franchise route, or can a distributor do, what you just said at the same quality?
Yeah, so I think and there's I guess like a nuanced answer to that, but it depends on the person asking the question, right? If you're coming in with the idea of, hey, I want one store, and I've done a ton of research already. I've grew up in family businesses, and I'm comfortable with labor and site selection and all these kind of other elements. As long as there's some support through a distributor, I think if this is a one-off store, I would say going the distributor route is probably the better route over time. If the person though coming in is, hey, I've built up this massive investment portfolio. I want a semi-absentee business, understanding I'll have to be in the business for the first year to get it ramped up, and I'm willing to make that commitment or hire a team to help do that. But this is a diversification play. Maybe it's a real estate play where they want to buy the land and then have a laundromat on top of it. We're getting a lot of people interested in franchising for that reason, because they don't want to spend the time learning the laundromat industry up front. I guess for until they made the decision, they know that they're going to learn it over that first year of running it, and that we can help accelerate that speed to which they feel comfortable running their own store. Then it might be all the trial and error that they did on their own. We talked about that theme throughout this podcast of all this iteration, trial and error. We get to do what those franchisors did to us in those 4 or 5 hours of phone calls. We get to do to each of our franchisees, avoid years of mistakes and learning, hopefully in the course of a couple of weeks of training that we're going to put them through, and then constantly being a resource for them as questions come up. So that's one persona. The other is the kind of sophisticated investor that's looking at this in a very big way. They want to be the next Williford brothers. They want to be the clean laundries out of the Northeast, where they own 3 to 5 to start, and then do another 10 to 15 and really have 15 to 20 laundromats in a whole system. And so that system thinker is another persona. And then the last one is anyone that wants to pick up and delivery volume. They're realizing that revenue that we bring far surpasses the royalty that they're going to pay us over the course of 10 years is 3 to 5x in the pickup and delivery volume that they're going to be getting from us. And also the preferential pricing that we're getting and whatnot makes up for the franchise royalties. And so long-winded answer, but I think it depends on the persona and the intention of the person coming in. What are their motivations? What are their goals? And I think there's a lot of people that their goals align exactly with what we're offering. There's others that the goals don't. And so depending on which category you fall into, a distributor can be a great option. I mean, we work closely with all the distributors for our franchisees, and you kind of are both there holding their hand and agree and might disagree on certain things as it comes to that point as well. Too. The last thing I'll say is, distributors, as much knowledge as they have, they're incentivized in a big way to sell equipment, right? And they're trying to move equipment. Whereas if you think about our incentives, we can't be done once the equipment's installed. We have to make sure that Jordan's stores are successful. We understand the investment that you're putting into this. And if Jordan's Laundry Lab fails, he's not going to open his second one that he bought or his third one. And he's also going to tell the next 10 people that ask him, hey, what was your experience like with Laundry Lab? Hey, these guys said they were going to do X, Y, and Z, but then this investment tanked, and it was the word I never would have done it. And I would, it's going to create a terrible brand experience and reputation for us. So again, our incentives and motivations are more aligned with the end laundromat owner than I think your typical distributors is as well.
Yeah. And I see that aligned interest piece of it. I mean, that's kind of been one of the themes that's come up, throughout also.